Mom? 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 Mom!
Try and stay calm. I'm going to be on the phone with you the whole time.
Copy on neurotherapy. Air Force 97.
This happened to me when I was just 10 years old. I still remember that night vividly. My mom had to work late at the hospital, leaving me home alone for the evening. It wasn't the first time, but something about that night felt different. The house was eerily quiet, and the usual comfort I found in my familiar surroundings felt absent. It was a cold, windy night in late October. The wind howled through the trees, creating ghostly whispers that set my nerves on edge. I tried to distract myself with my favorite TV show, but every creak and groan of the house seemed amplified in the stillness. As the clock ticked closer to 9 p.m., I heard a noise that made my blood run cold, a faint tapping sound coming from the kitchen. At first, I told myself it was just the wind knocking a tree branch against the window, but as I listened more closely, the noise grew louder and more insistent. My heart pounded in my chest as I muted the TV and strained to hear. The tapping turned into a slow, deliberate scratching sound, like someone was trying to force their way in. Fear gripped me as I tiptoed to the kitchen, my small frame trembling with each step. I peeked around the corner and saw something that made my breath catch in my throat. The back door window panel was broken. I knew I had locked it earlier. Someone had broken in. Panic set in, and I did the only thing I could think of. I grabbed my phone and called my mom. The phone rang twice before she picked up, her voice a mixture of exhaustion and concern. Mom, someone's in the house, I whispered, trying to keep my voice steady. What? Where are you? She asked, the worry evident in her tone. I'm in the kitchen. The back door is jammed shut. I think someone's inside, I replied, my voice barely audible. Try and stay calm, honey. I'm going to be on the phone with you the whole time. Can you quietly go to the front door and see if you can get out? She instructed. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me, and started to move towards the front of the house. Every step felt like an eternity, the silence pressing in around me. As I reached the hallway, I heard another noise, a low, guttural voice muttering something unintelligible. The intruder was inside, and they were close. Mom, I can hear him, I whispered, my voice shaking. Stay calm, sweetheart. Just keep moving. I'm calling the police right now, she reassured me. I reached the front door and grasped the handle, but it wouldn't budge either. I realized with horror that the intruder must have locked it from the inside. Trapped and terrified, I turned back towards the kitchen, hoping to find another way out. Mom, the front door's locked. I can't get out, I said, tears welling up in my eyes. Okay, listen to me. Go to the pantry and hide there. Stay quiet and don't come out until the police arrive, she instructed, her voice steady despite the fear I knew she must be feeling. I hurried to the pantry, closing the door behind me as quietly as I could. I crouched down, trying to make myself as small as possible, and clutched the phone to my ear. I'm scared, Mom, I admitted, my voice breaking. I know, sweetie, but you're brave and you can do this. The police are on their way. Just stay quiet and stay on the line with me, she said, her voice a lifeline in the darkness. Minutes felt like hours as I huddled in the pantry, listening to the sounds of the intruder moving through the house. I could hear things being moved, drawers being opened and closed. It was clear they were searching for something, and I prayed they wouldn't find me. Suddenly, the sound of heavy footsteps approached the pantry. I held my breath, hoping against hope that they would pass by. But the footsteps stopped right outside the door. I could see the shadow of their feet under the door frame, and my heart nearly stopped. Mom, he's right outside, I whispered, barely audible. "Stay calm, sweetheart. The police will be there any minute," she whispered back, her voice trembling. The pantry door handle turned slowly, and I felt a surge of terror. Just as the door began to open, I heard a loud crash from the front of the house, followed by shouting. The intruder hesitated, then turned and ran toward the noise. I stayed frozen, listening to the commotion. "Mom, something's happening," I said, my voice shaking. "The police must be there. Stay hidden until they find you," she instructed. I heard more shouting and then the sound of footsteps running past the pantry. Moments later, there was a knock on the pantry door. "Police? Is anyone in there?" A deep voice called out. I pushed the door open and saw 2 police officers standing in the kitchen, their faces concerned but reassuring. "Are you okay?" one of them asked, kneeling down to my level. I nodded, tears streaming down my face. "My mom's on the phone," I said, holding up the phone. The officer took the phone and spoke to my mom, reassuring her that I was safe. They escorted me out of the house and into the safety of a patrol car. I learned later that the intruder had been caught trying to escape through the back door. As I sat in the patrol car, wrapped in a blanket, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. My mom arrived shortly after, her face a mixture of relief and worry. She hugged me tightly, and for the first time that night, I felt safe. In the weeks that followed, the memory of that night haunted me, but I found strength in the support of my mom and the knowledge that the intruder had been caught. The house no longer felt like a sanctuary, but we took steps to make it more secure, installing new locks and a security system. Over time, the fear began to fade, replaced by a sense of resilience. I had faced something terrifying and come out the other side. I learned that even in the darkest moments, there is hope. And that hope gave me the strength to move forward. Even now, years later, I sometimes think back to that night and the fear I felt. But I also remember the courage it took to stay calm and the relief of knowing I was never truly alone. My mom was with me every step of the way, and that made all the difference. And though the memory of that night will always stay with me, I know that I am stronger because of it. I faced the unknown and survived, and that is something no one can take away from me. Thank you for joining us on Tales of Darkness. We hope you enjoyed this chilling tale. If this story sent shivers down your spine, please give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing your feedback and spooky suggestions for future stories. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a night of fright. Until next time, stay spooky and keep the lights on.